All right, welcome to everybody around the world, and welcome to all my subscribers. Just a quick few minutes update, October 2nd, 2024. There's about 90 days roughly left to the year. We're getting closer and closer, but it's still basically 3 full months left to go. That is 1/4 of a year. Like I've been saying for the last 8 years on YouTube, 2024 should be the end of days according to the biblical prophecies that I discuss in all my live stream videos and in my books. But nonetheless, in terms of the Magog war, every day, like I keep saying for the last month or more now, every day it just gets closer and closer. The things that occur are more and more so fulfilling what's written to occur. So, I mean, right now, Persia, which is Iran, is definitely engaging Israel in war because they're they're attacking Israel, like Iran itself, launching like 200 or 300 rockets, missiles, and this and that into Israel. It populated civilian populated locations. Thankfully, most of those projectiles were taken out by the Iron Dome and through other efforts. But nonetheless, you just can't deny it. I mean, even at this point now, this week, I've seen numerous other Christian channels, some bigger ones as well. Even John Hagee, I think his name is. They're all coming. I got nothing against Mr. Hagee. I don't listen to him or anything, but these other channels are saying that, oh, Christ's arrival in the end days must be imminent because of what's happening with, these nations in Israel right now. Well, I've been saying that for ages. You know what I mean? Nobody listens to me, but at least one good thing is that other people are cluing into it now. Problem is they've missed all the other amazing evidence. I mean, God gave us all these prophecies in the Bible telling us when it would occur, what to look for in history, the indicators and the length of the periods of time. He told us, and from all those prophecies, we see it will be 2024. You look in Ezekiel's prophecy, he doesn't mention years or numbers. He just talks about who will attack who right before God arrives. And he names the nations. And these are the nations that are going against Israel now. So not only were all the numerical prophecies fulfilled, with all the historical events confirming it and such, we're in this final year now, according to these prophecies. And what do you know? Ezekiel's prophecy, which doesn't pertain to numbers, is coming true. So with this attack from Iran on Israel, we're just even closer. The only next step it could go, I mean, the only other things written would be a ground type invasion into Israel. They did have a shooter the other day who shot a bunch of people in Israel before, I think around like a train or a subway station before the missile strike happened, something like that. So there's a ground invasion happening in Lebanon or about to start. But all it would take, the only things left in the prophecy of Ezekiel that haven't occurred yet would be a ground invasion based on the things that are said, because it's not just projectiles they will launch at Israel, because Ezekiel does specify that. They will launch arrows, projectiles at Israel, but God will cause them to fall down from the sky. That's the Iron Dome. Even that's being fulfilled. But the only thing left would be a ground invasion, because it talks about them, attacking the Israeli people. Not that we want that to occur, but that's what God said would occur. And then after that, Zechariah, not Ezekiel, but Zechariah mentions that they would attack Jerusalem, right? Or that they would surround Jerusalem for battle. I'd have to double check. But in either case, they're going to have to be around or in Jerusalem doing stuff, right? So there's only two things left. Everything else has been fulfilled, right? Only two things left. A ground invasion into Israel, okay? How big, we don't know. It doesn't specify if the entire army will go on the ground into Israel. It doesn't even specify that. They've already done some minor attacks in Israel. So, but the only thing left that we could expect to occur, or that could potentially occur, is, like I said, ground invasion against Israel and them surrounding or attacking Jerusalem, right? According to Zechariah's prophecy. That's all that's left to occur. We have 3 full months left, about 90 days roughly, in which the end of days to actually occur, the end day itself. It could very well happen, like I've been warning for 8 years. I mean, time is running out, but let me just show, my books are right over there. Let me just grab them real quick. So, I mean, time is potentially running out, but it's still worth doing this, right? I don't have all the material on my live stream videos. A lot of it is, but not all of it. And it's a lot more concise to get the book. The book is super cheap, $11.11. You can get it around the world anywhere. It's available on Amazon. Okay, so 7 pillars of scriptural proof. These are 7 biblical prophecies. Like I said, each of them contain their own set of unique numbers pertaining to these, end days timeline of events, and it proves that 2024 will be the end, right? So I urge you all go get that. 3 months, you still have time to go read it. I mean, we're at the point now with the most likely is the Magog War itself. It's already started. It's unfolding. It hasn't come to its fruition point yet, the climax point, the apex point yet. But I mean, we're already at the last stages, but definitely doesn't hurt to hear the prophecies, right? For further confirmation. Because I mean, these countries have been in conflict since 1948. There's been a lot of battles and wars since then, right? So a skeptic could say, and in all fairness, anybody, even a believer, could say, well, this may not be that great and final battle, the dreadful final battle. It might just be more conflict like has been happening. And maybe the 2024 is not right in terms of the end day, the end year. But it could still be. We have to hold out and watch and keep our hope these last 3 months. Do not give up hope during that time. But if you want extra evidence for why it should be in 2024, I'd urge you to get the book. 150 pages, solid evidence for 2024. There's a lot of hard work that went into that. It took 20 years altogether for all the discoveries that I made to go into this book. And also, while you're at it, because this is equally or probably more important, I would say more important is the theology that you should be following. So, especially if you're a Christian, I urge you to get my other book, this one here, available on Amazon around the world, like I said. This one's about twice the price of the other one. It's also bigger. It's a systematic theology with theodicy and apologetics. It's very, very important to understand whether what you believe is right or wrong. And you don't have to believe me. Like the title says, scripturally proven. So everything that I theologically claim, I prove with the scripture on the pages. So all my claims are undeniable. They're all validated right there for you. So very few people have gotten the books. I mean, I published this book like 4 years ago or so. I published this book 1 year ago. I could count the number of people who bought these books on my 2 hands. It's pretty dismal. I wrote these books so that all this truth about theology and the end days could reach the whole world, would be available to everybody around the world. I put in all the hard work, got arthritis in my hand writing these books. I still have to this day. It won't go away. And, I went through all this so that the world would have access to it. I already made the efforts in my YouTube channel for 8 years. This was the only extra step that I could do. So anyways, I've done my part, and I continue to help warn people. But, if you don't believe me, or if you want to validate this concept of 2024 being the end year, I urge you to go get this book, because this book will convince you that it's 2024. And it's not brainwashing. It's astounding biblical discoveries. Historical dates confirm everything. The numbers are exact to the exact digit. You can't go wrong. So anyways, take care, folks, and God bless. And let's just hope that God and Messiah come soon. And as I'll keep saying for myself and for everybody, we all got to reform from sin so that we can be saved. Otherwise, you're going to be facing God's wrath at Judgment Day, right? You don't want to gamble with your soul. Do the right thing like we are taught, Jew or Christian or anybody in the world. Everybody is bound to God's rules, which are you have to stop sinning. Don't do sin, right? So reform from your sins, big ones, small ones, internal ones, external ones. Reform from it all. I got to do this still. I'm not perfect. And it's not, don't even worry about, can I be perfect? Can people be perfect? Or I can't be perfect. You can't be perfect. Don't worry about the word perfection. Don't let that cross your mind. Forget that nonsense, because people are going to use that to confuse you. Just focus on what God told us to do. Reform from sin. Anybody can do it. Everybody should do it, right? And if God said that we should be doing it, it means that you're capable of doing it. If people want to play word games and fuss about perfection, can you attain perfection? Just ignore that nonsense. Focus on what God told us to do. Okay? Nobody can be perfect like God. Nobody can be perfect like Jesus. But, that's what everybody says. But I do wholeheartedly believe that that is a goal that we should strive for and that we are capable of attaining. None of us, nobody can be as perfect as God. Clearly, there's no argument there. But in terms of being as perfect as Jesus, I believe that there are people on this earth who are as good as Jesus was. I mean, why not? Right? Why demonize the whole human race? Of course, there's probably people as good as he was. My own grandparents were so squeaky clean, perfect. You know what I mean? They're close to that level already. Um, don't worry about perfection. Just worry about reforming and stopping. Okay? If you find it difficult, it's because you're making it difficult. It doesn't need. It's as easy or as difficult as you make it. Okay? And that's all I can say. Anyways, take care, folks. God bless.